Welcome to my next Lost. Season 3 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Lost, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, I've already seen the show Lost 3 times. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Top 5 for sure. I want to rewatch it to let things resonate, as I've been binging it the last few times that I've watched it. However, I'm not the only one that's watching Lost. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who you see in my comment section for Lucifer, Dexter Original Sin, Breaking Bad, and Dexter, is actually watching Lost for the first time. So, join us on the journey and let's discuss this awesome and amazing show. However, I don't want any spoilers past this episode because I don't know where he is at the time of this filming. So, with all that said, this will be Lost, Season 3, Episode 10. The title of this episode is called Tricia Tanaka is Dead. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start off with a flashback. It's a Hurley-focused episode. And he's young, skinny, and carrying tools to a Camaro that is up on blocks and opens the hood. His father tells him to start the car even though it needs a new carburetor. Hurley claims it's stupid, but his father tells him hope is never stupid and you have to make your own luck. His father gives him a glacier bar against his mother's wishes and then informs Hurley that their planned trip to the Grand Canyon will have to wait until he comes back from some work he has to do in Las Vegas. And then Hurley's father drives off on his motorcycle, played by Cheech. Hurley confesses back on the island. Hurley confesses his fears and troubles at Libby's grave and lays down a flower. He finds Charlie shaving and gets him to reveal Desmond's flashes of Charlie being fated to die. Hurley says it might be his fault because of his curse. Then Vincent emerges from the jungle with a skeleton arm holding a key. Hurley chases Vincent, through the jungle until Vincent drops the arm, and then Hurley takes the key, which has a lucky rabbit's foot keychain attached, and follows Vincent to an overturned van. Then when Hurley sees this, he says, "Awesome." Back to our flashback. Reporter Tricia Tanaka is filming a fluff piece in Diamond Bar on how Hurley bought a controlling interest in Mr. Cluck's chicken shack where he used to work. She tries to interview Hurley, but he starts to relate all of the bad luck he has had. His grandfather's heart attack, the burning down of his house. He bought his mother, his best friend Johnny running off with his girlfriend Starla, the suicidal jumper at his accountant's building. Tricia complains about his attitude and goes inside the shack with her cameraman, while Randy assures Hugo that everything is safe. Suddenly, a meteorite falls from the sky, completely destroying the shack and killing Tricia Tanaka and her cameraman, who went inside. Sun tells Jin that in order to help him learn, she will only speak to him in English from now on. Hurley bursts into the group and tells everyone about the van. He tries to get help in starting it, but only Jin volunteers, not knowing what Hurley was saying. Kate and Sawyer get closer to camp. Sawyer steps on a dart from the Swan dartboard, and Kate pulls it out. They talk for a while, and Kate wants to reconcile, but Sawyer brushes her off. They reach camp and are enthusiastically greeted by the other survivors. Sawyer and Kate give each other longing glances, but each misses the other's look. Back to our flashback. Hurley is greeted at his mansion by his mother. He tells her what happened and renews his intentions to go to Australia to investigate the numbers. His mother says he can't be cursed because his father has returned after 17 years. His father jokes that your mother wasn't kidding about those candy bars. Obviously Hurley's weight gain from when he was a kid to an adult. Hurley and Jin find the owner of the arm, the skeletal remains of a man in a work suit which has on it a Swan Dharma logo patch, the name Roger, and the destination a workman. They open the back door and find a mound of Dharma beer. So they found some beer. They accidentally pull out the skeleton, accidentally causing the head to come off and land on a pile of documents. Charlie demands that Desmond tell him when he will die, but Desmond informs him it doesn't work like that. Sawyer barges up to them and demands to know where his stash went. Desmond apologizes for drinking the scotch, but reveals that Charlie and Hurley helped. Sawyer finds Hurley and Jin attempting to upright the van. Hurley is overjoyed to see Sawyer alive, and both he and Jin give him a big hug. Hurley says that the car and Sawyer's return are signs that their luck is changing. Sawyer asks for his stuff, but Hurley bribes him with beer to get him to help fix the van. Kate tells Saeed about her experiences with the others. She explains that Jack had instructed them not to come back for him, but that she is adamant that she should attempt a rescue. Kate then walks off, saying that she is going to get help without looking back. Locke wonders who Kate is going to get for the help. Back to our flashback, David remarks on a golden statue of Jesus, and Carmen explains that Hurley commissioned artisans in Texaco to make it. She also explains that they hired workers to be their butlers. Hugo gets upset that his mother isn't suspicious of his father suddenly showing up after he won the lottery, but she claims that he came because she called him to ask help with Hugo's obsession with his curse. Hugo gives Mr. and Mrs. Trone severance and threatens to get rid of the money, all that it has bought, and his father. His mother covers the ears of the Jesus statue and says that she has become intimate again with Hurley's father. She tells Hugo to show his father the Camaro, which he has saved all these years. Hurley, Sawyer, and Jin push the van upright and look inside. There are a lot of documents, including a Dharma blueprint for a dirt road winding down the side of an incline and ending at the Swan station. Sawyer freaks out at Roger's head and exits with some beer. Hurley closes his eyes, puts the key in the ignition, and tries to start the van, but the engine doesn't turn over. He takes offense at Sawyer calling Roger Skeletor and his lack of enthusiasm about fixing the van, saying they need to do it as a symbol of hope. Back to our flashback, Hurley's dad wakes him up after some initial trouble due to Hurley wearing earphones to drown out his parents' lovemaking noises. He asks him to go with him to break the curse. They end up visiting a psychic who tells Hurley his fortune using tarot cards, I should say. The first card tells her he has won money. The second, Six of Swords, tells her he has brought him misfortune. She claims to see the numbers and lists them. She says they are cursed and pulls a third card. Death. She says his curse can be removed and asks him to take off his clothes while she starts preparing ingredients to exorcise his curse. He offers her first $1,000, then $10,000 to admit that his dad put her up to it. She acts offended, but then admits it after being offered $10,000. Hurley storms out. Back on the island, while knocking back some of the Dharma beers, Sawyer teaches Jin some English words. He asks Hurley what he's doing, and Hurley says he's praying for hope. Sawyer throws a can of beer at him, saying, Here's your hope. Hurley sees the can rolling down a hill and gets an idea. He finds Charlie on the beach and snaps him out of his funk. He convinces him to help him with the van, saying it will give them both the hope they need to change their fates. Hurley returns. Sawyer calls him Jumbotron, which is hilarious, and Hurley says, "Shut up, redneck man." Hurley's brought Charlie and gets the other three to push the van to where the hill starts. He gets out, and then they look down to see a steep incline with some big black rocks at the bottom. Back to our flashback, Hurley is packing to go to Australia. His father admits that he came because of Hurley's money, but Hurley says Hurley doesn't need to leave. He just needs a little hope. He should make his own luck, give away all the money except enough to fix the Camaro with his dad, and take the trip to the Grand Canyon together they had planned. Hurley pauses to consider but leaves. His father says he'll be here when Hurley gets back. Hurley says that if they push the van down the hill, he can pop the clutch and get it started. Charlie calls shotgun. Jin and Sawyer push them over the incline, and then the van hurtles down the hill. Just before they are about to crash into rocks, Hurley has his eyes closed and telling himself he's making his own luck. He pops the clutch and the van starts. He swerves to avoid the rocks and drives into a field. The van comes alive and plays the same song Hurley's radio was playing when his dad left him. Jin and Sawyer with Vincent join them for a joyride, shouting as they circle the field. Hurley stays behind to go for another joyride while the other three go back to camp with renewed hope. Jin gives Sun a flower and smiling Charlie joins Claire. Sawyer brings the beer back to his tent and looks for Kate, but she is gone. He looks around at the happy couples with envy as he drinks his beer. And then while Kate is in the jungle at night, she sees that Locke and Saeed have followed her. They ask her why she didn't ask for help in looking for Jack. She says they weren't motivated, but Locke counters that they just didn't know where to look. Saeed sarcastically claims Locke has gotten a clue from Echo's stick. Gunshots fire, but Kate tells them to lower their weapons, and Danielle Russo comes out. Kate asks her for her help and tells her that she was able to escape the others with help of a girl about 16 years old who thinks is Danielle Russo's daughter, Alex. And that's what ends this episode of Lost. So pretty good episode. I'm going to give the episode an 8.7 out of 10. And my characters of the episode, obviously Hurley, and I'm going to give the secondary character of the episode to Sawyer. So good stuff here. You've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lost and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing that like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Lost. What would you rate it, and who would you choose as the character of the episode or characters? Remember, you'll be interacting with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man, so make sure you ask us questions and give your thoughts. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.